What's going on, everybody? I am here with Mr.
Marcus Fontes.
And I think this is the second time on the channel. Last time you came in here with the DDD Spice on the 3v3. Thank you again for that profile, because that shit went crazy. Everyone was looking for that list.
You know I had to show out, yeah.
Now this time, you snuck in first place as X1.
I did. Shout out to Anthony.
Table 1, Drew put himself undefeated draws with 2 draws, and you snuck in first place. So
yes, sir.
Congratulations. Before we get into the list, any shout outs?
Yes, I do. I have a lot. I just want to shout out my boy Hector, Oscar, Manny, Chimmy. I do it for Miss Gladys. Shout out to Joe Winkler for helping me with the list in theory and borrowing cards. Shout out John, Fabian for the food I didn't get to eat, Emilio and all the other judge staff, fantastic. And yeah, shout out to everyone at Versus Games, all the guys in my Discord, all the guys from South, Tampa, things like that. And then shout out to Lady Spaghetti. And yeah, just all my friends and family and things like that. So.
All right, so congratulations getting first place with what deck?
So I played quote unquote the worst deck in the format apparently. I was told that every round. Those guys are crazy. I think it's one of the best decks in the format by far, hands down. So I played Melodious. So start off with the new cards. Played 3 Refrain, 3 Couplet. Standard new cards. This one searches any Melodious monster. In scale, you get to dump any Melodious monster to add back to your hand with the various other cards in your deck, like Shapina or Soprano. And then you have Couplet. Basically, if you ever add her to your hand, because we're drawing her, she can just tutor out at level 4 from your hand or grave. Really, really strong. And then also, too, it just allows you to get your fusion spell. So these are the 2 main cards of the deck for sure, alongside my extenders, which were 3 Sonata, 2 Soprano, the 1 Area, the 1 Shapina, the 1 Elegy. And then I played like 3 quote-unquote tech cards in Cannon, Tam Tam, and Opera. So, like I said, these are just extenders. This is a poly on legs, adds back a resource from grave. This is your can't be targeted or destroyed by battle lock portion of the deck, alongside your Elegy, which stops your stuff from being destroyed by card effects. Cannon is just an extender, level 4. It's good for making Baguska and just overall playing through boards. These 2 cards were really MVP. Not a lot of us play Tam Tam, but Tam Tam's broken. Just like anytime she's special to add poly or add fusion sub, it helps push through boards. Dealing the extra 500, I guess, is like inconsequential, but it comes up. And then you can kind of loop her to get back resources to fuse. And then Opera, which is a card I don't see a lot of people play. So effectively what she does is, she's just a 2300 level 4 that if you use her as fusion material, your Melodious monsters can't be destroyed by card effects that turn. So going second into boards, if you're able to fuse with her, you can just turn off Promethean Princesses, other cards that apply destruction pressure and things like that. And then also too, just Pelham summoning out a level 4 2200 attack is pretty insane.
Yeah.
So that's the Melodious package. Overall, like the deck, it's pretty strong. The new cards definitely help out for sure.
Who would have thought once per turn of a deck that has no once per turn clause is stupid again?
Exactly.
Luna Light. So
yeah,
wow.
Like even with like just like Elegy and Arya, like the old school lock, like these cards, if you have these on the board, are just usually unbreakable for most decks. And even if you don't see them, like these cards by themselves, it just give you like infinite grind with a lot of your engine pieces. And then for the non-engine, I played 3 Ash, 3 Ogre. This card by far was one of the best cards in the deck as far as non-engine goes. It just hits field spells, random boss monsters that have effects. I played Amir today, round 5. That hits scales, which is amazing. It just catches people off guard more often than not too. And like I said, it just hits like continuous spells and traps and things like that for various decks in the format, so it's a pretty good card. We had the luxury of playing 3 Orange Light. It's also just a fairy.
Welcome back to being 3.
Exactly. So sometimes you can actually just like normal summon this or special summon it out and like use it to link off into your Link 2 because it's just a fairy. Overall, people don't see this coming a lot of the time, so you're able to just play through things. And then cards like Shapina add it back from grave, so you effectively just have like a recurring hand trap that your opponent has to play through. And then to round off the non-engine, I just played 3 Infern. So that is the non-engine. Infern was pretty good overall today. It helps with a lot of the decks in the format. To the broken cards, throughout Sonata.
Not a once per turn.
Yeah, not once per turn. Brand new fusion. This card has so much outplay potential. There are times where you can like you fuse, you Atole your board away, and then you can like activate another Sonata to like another different fusion that you need, or set up an Aria with a first movement solo when your board is clear, and then you have first movement solo. This card is also insane. Sometimes you have the conundrum of either activating this first or activating this first. Sometimes there are ways that you can like sequence your hands to do both. But ideally, against decks like Snake Eye, you can just like activate this summon Aria to make it to where all your Melodious going forward can be targeted by card effects, and then just pick apart their board and win the games from there. So pretty good. I played 2 Concerto. Some people just play 1, but I found 2 came up a lot. It's good to hard open, but also when you cross parity, you can't draw, so this stays in the grave. And just having like on your follow-up a way for your couplet to just add back a second one, so you don't have to like over leverage to get it back into the deck is pretty good. And then 3 pot for consistency, and then the 1 poly for Tam. And then that is the main deck. It was just 41 cards. I couldn't not play the 1 opera. So then we'll go to the extra deck. So we played 1 Bloom. It's good against Tempai and Yubel. It's just your reflect damage, can't die by battle card. Your other Bloom, this card's broken too. Being able to just fuse as many materials as you can to then just like attack twice and usually like OTK your opponent out of nowhere, and then you can send it off to grave with any like linking it off, fusing it off to add back a card. These are the most used fusions in the deck. Just a DD Crow on legs, not much to explain there. You can have multiple of these and do the same thing. These 2 cards right here really define the deck. So Botcha just being able to bypass cards like Ash and small cards like that in that pool to still get your summons off, as well as your boss monster, which helps you banish all your cards to get your opponent's cards back to their hand, as well as just giving yourself like, you could say like infinite grind in the way, because whenever this card leaves by your opponent, you summon back any Melodious from deck or extra deck, so you can summon like Botcha, or you can summon like Area, Elegy, things like that, or you can summon Reframe, which adds you Couplet, which gives you more combos from there during your opponent's turn. Really great cards. This card helps you play through boards where like there are boards in this deck where you'd end on like things like this, and your opponent thinks that like you wouldn't be able to resolve your effects, but because Botcha's on the board, you can. So there are times where you end on this against like Tempai, for example, and then oops, I just blanked your whole board. So yeah, these 2 cards in conjunction with each other are just really strong. And then like I said, I played the 1 Maguska. It's good against quite a few decks. There are combo lines you can end on like any combination of these cards. And then also to your opponent just needs to know those kind of interactions to play through them. So these are the Melodious fusions, the 1 Maguska. And then to round out the extra deck, I played the Gravity Controller. It comes up whenever you put Botcha in the extra monster zone. Sometimes it gets impermed, you need a way to combo through that. And then we have SP. Sometimes you have lines where you don't have to go into Bloom, so you can make an SP on top to interact with your opponent. And then one of the most custom cards on a Link 2 from that set that just seems to have broken links.
Dupo, bro.
Yeah, Dupo. Yeah, so Harmonis is a quick like discard, summon any 2 Melodious monsters from your deck. So usually you're summoning like Shapina, if you weren't able to combo through with it, or you just summon like Sopranos, Elegy, Aria, Tam, things like that. Like once you get this, like once you like hit Tam off this and you're like looping your fusions, like you just feel like you're never losing the game. So that was the extra deck. Then for the side deck, I played 3 Nib. I didn't want to main it because you just never know at regionals, but it was good whenever I did see it. And then I played some Spice for the weekend. I kind of just effectively played this for...
You gonna show us the Spice? You know, bless us?
Yeah, I'll bless you guys. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
God.
so I played the Condemned Witch package, which is just 3 Condemned Witch, 2 Droplet, and a Barrier statue. There was a lot of times this weekend in testing where like they flip D-Barrier and your only like reliances are making SP or like blooming into your combo to like secure board and try to live to next turn. But there are games where like you open up like Ostinato and you just have a free normal summon, or like you have a first movement, you have a free normal summon, so you can go like Condemned Witch, add a Droplet, and then on your opponent's turn, like let's say you couldn't get to area, you tag out into an area so your monsters can't have a battle, or you refrain, Tam, anything like that because it summons a level 4. Or against like decks like Tempai or Snake Eye, you can just tutor into a barrier statue. And what's cool about that is sometimes when you just have like the Droplet, it's just enough sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially trying to like beat over your monster, or if you have like your boss monster in the toll, then you're able to just like stop them from playing any further. And like I mentioned, going second, your opponent flips D-Barrier, sometimes like it really just is enough. Like normal summoning this, if it goes through, you're able to like add Droplet, or like even if you just like pen summons out even 2, and then it's like on your opponent's turn, like sack it into anything you need. So the utility on this card was fantastic. I'd still continue playing it, and I'd recommend trying it out. And then to round it off, it was just 3 Cosmic, 3 D-Barrier. I mean, not much to say.
Yeah.
Right, Cosmic. I played some Centurion decks today, some some voice decks today, some Tempai decks that like Cosmic just came in clutch, and then obviously D-Barrier when you go first. But also I would put this in going second. There are times where like I went second, I got D-Barrier, but I had this in. You like bloom or try to get your way to like link 2. You set this, and then if you live the next turn with D-Barrier, then you just kind of win the game from there. So yeah, that's the deck.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hopefully we see you at upcoming Indian Nats.
Yes, thinking about going to Indy and then Nats as well. And then again, I think the deck is really strong in this format. To all the people who every round were thinking otherwise, where you guys at?
That's facts. That's facts.
And then again, shout out to everyone that I shouted out, and thank you, Nikolai, behind the camera.
Thank you, man. All right, take care.